it was ruled today. I want to start with the Brendan Sorsby thing, in that he is the quarterback, Texas Tech quarterback, who was initially ruled ineligible to play because of all the bets he had placed on his, I assume it was online gambling. There was an injunction that allowed him to play, but he applied for the supplemental draft. But the NFL essentially said, no, we're not going to have one this year.
Yeah, so it's up to the NFL if they have a supplemental draft. There's not a supplemental draft every year. I think the last time a player was selected in one was 2019, so it had been a while. And it was interesting when he announced he was going to the NFL, Mike Flory of Pro Football Talk was like, well, we'll see if the NFL has a draft. It was kind of considered a foregone conclusion. And they've said no. And they put a letter out today. I don't believe it was from the commissioner, but he might have been cited in there, essentially saying they didn't think Sorsby showed enough remorse for what he's done. So to me, this feels like they're punishing him for a year. And so he will not be eligible to play in the NFL this year. I think he's going to try to appeal the decision. I'd be surprised if he won that appeal. So he's kind of without a home. He can't play in college. He can't play in the NFL. And I don't think he can enter the NFL now until the 2027 draft, where he'll go through the normal draft process.
Well, he is allowed to play in college. So he got that injunction. He can play in college.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The question now is, like, does Texas Tech want him
would
to
anyone
play?
take him?
Does somebody want the what's the word I'm looking for? Does somebody want the distraction of that sort of stuff?
Well, someone will want the talent.
Yeah, exactly. The talent is worth the distraction.
Temple would probably kill for a quarterback as talented as Brendan Sorsby.
A first-round draft pick?
Yeah, and look, I hope
take him in Michigan State right now.
I do hope a team gives him a chance.
I don't even know my quarterback.
Yeah? Well, are you going to put up the NIL money?
Hell no. He shouldn't want any NIL money.
Yeah, at this point, taking a check for him would probably not be the best look.
Just play for play on scholarship if you get that.
I do think he should be allowed in the NFL this year. I think the NFL is making a mistake. If you want to punish him for 2-3 games when he gets in, I think that's a little over the top, but okay. I do think they are doing this as an anti-gambling thing. Like, this is clearly what they're sending a message for, and it just feels
it's not unnecessary.
I don't want to say unfair because he knew the rule and he broke it.
Yeah.
But it just
what penalty has he served?
Well, so this is what I was gonna say. Look, like, he broke the rule, and when you know the rule and you break it, then you have to deal with the consequences. This goes back to the Isaiah Rodgers thing when he got suspended for a year.
Yeah.
He broke the rule. I understand it, but athletes only have a finite amount of time to make a lot of money. And I just feel bad for, like I did Isaiah Rodgers, for him. Now, he made the mistake, though, that he will cost himself a ton of money during a few years where he can earn his full potential.
What are you talking about? You feel bad for him.
Yeah, just like I felt bad for Isaiah Rodgers.
Well, you didn't need to feel bad for Isaiah Rodgers.
No, I know, but I did.
He's a grown-ass man.
I did.
Okay, that's fine, you did. But I'm saying there's no need to feel sorry for him. They understood the rules, the parameters of the rules, and they decided to skirt the rules. And there's a penalty that comes with that. He's a grown man. He wagered $90,000. Were you feeling sorry for him? Well, if he won $350,000, would you feel sorry for him?
I feel sorry that he's not going to be able to play football for a year, like I did Isaiah Rodgers.
It's no different than having an injury. And guess what? Isaiah missed out on a year, and it was the best thing that ever happened to him. He won a Super Bowl afterwards and got paid the year after that. Isaiah Rodgers is fine.
It could have been a different outcome, though, right? Like, it could have ruined his career.
Right. He could have played that following year and got injured and don't get a ring or get a big deal.
Or no team could have given him a chance. He could have not been the same athlete after a year off, and he couldn't have made that money.
Well, the other guy who got suspended, the receiver from Atlanta. Who I'm thinking about?
Calvin Ridley. He was with the Jags, I think, what happened.
Suspended for a year, right?
Yes.
Came back and got a bag.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can never recover from it.
My point is this. It's not necessary to feel sorry for them.
But I do, because
Okay, but then go.
No, I know.
I'm
just saying, like,
no one else is and no one else should.
I get that. I get that. It just seems like a punishment that's overly harsh for the crime, right?
Well,
like,
it's
going to cost him. What do you think he would have made in NIL this year? It's probably a lot of money, right?
He can play in college. He can play.
If a team brings him.
Yes. He can play. He can play. This is this is the thing I don't think is like to quote Justin Bieber. Yeah, I don't think it's clocking to you that they're standing on business. Is that this is now free market. He appealed the NCAA's decision. There was an injunction against the NCAA's decision, and he cannot be banned until that case goes all the way through. That case could take 2 years. He could play a year of college football.
Yes.
But what the market is saying, if he doesn't get a place to play, is that the thing that you did is not worth our trouble.
Yes.
Or the thing, and as far as the NFL goes, the NFL can't suspend him, can't let him in and then suspend him because he didn't break any of the NFL's rules. He is not a member of the union. He didn't sign a collective bargaining agreement. He is not.
I believe they did suspend Terrell Pryor, though, when he came from the NFL, from college to the NFL. And
I don't remember.
And he was his autographs or something like that. He got in a lot of trouble. So
I don't think the NFL suspended Terrell Pryor for that.
Okay, I could be wrong about that.
No, I could be wrong.
Yeah, Jack, you should look it up.
And it's a long. I read Ian Rappaport. Wrote the letter. The letter also said, as far as Sorsby, it basically said all the things that you need to prove, aside from like showing how you're going to change your behavior. All the things you need to prove that the NCAA didn't do and did unfairly, you did not prove. So I actually think, and we were talking about this before the segment started, I just think he got bad advice. There is no way you should be applying for the supplemental draft without having some information from your agent that they're going to actually have the supplemental
I agree with
draft.
that. Yeah.
So I think he should try to play somewhere, and then he will, if he's as good as everyone says he is, then he'll be a top pick next year.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks get paid.
He might.
He act like he's 39 and his career's about to go. He's a quarterback.
Yeah, this could also ruin his career. Now, he broke the rule. So, again, the feeling bad for him part, I understand. He broke the rule. He made the decision. It was his. Now, he still is a kid, for what it's worth.
Yes,
so,
sure.
I do think, like, it is a very harsh punishment for what he did.
What's a lesson he has to be made an example of? And when you do this, listen, they're not going to let any player, I don't give a damn who you are, Patrick Mahomes, you're not crumbling the house of cards, buddy.
No, I agree with that.
We're not sacrificing this golden goose for you. We put these rules in place for a reason. And if you break them, you're going to be punished. And we don't care. Nobody's bigger than the brand.
No, I get that. But also, I think players should be allowed to gamble.
But they're not.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that maybe that's why it doesn't hit me as hard. Like, he bet on his own team to win in Indiana is apparently what they have found.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem that bad.
I don't even look at him as a bad kid.
Right,
I don't. He gambled. Hell, I gambled too.
Right.
I don't look at him that way. I'm just saying this is part of the penalty.
Right.
Like that's you do it, you got to pay the price.
Yeah.
And he'll be okay.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. If he can play, he'll get in.
Let's hope.
The NFL did suspend Pryor in 2011.
Yeah, I think
his first 5 games.
Was it for what happened at Ohio State?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah, so I think this is their way where now when he comes in 2027,
they don't have to
they
deal
don't
with
punish him.
Yeah.
Like, this is their way of saying you're essentially
you were right. I was wrong.
It's okay.
You
Cut that
see how
audio.
easy that is?
Yeah. When I'm wrong, I'll gladly say when I'm
I just
wrong.
want to be on record as saying you were right and I was wrong.
I do think this is their way of suspending him for a year.
Well, yeah, I think
I
it is.
agree with you.
Yeah, I think from a PR perspective, they can go and say, we did our due diligence. We didn't let him in without thinking about it. We've had a year or two, blah, 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 blah. And then they can
I
let
also
it
think
go.
from a team perspective, like, just use the Eagles here. It's a pretty big decision to make in a short amount of time.
Sure.
Like, you find out 2 weeks ago he can be eligible. I think the draft was going to be on July 10th, or that was the rumored date. So that's a short amount of time to do a lot of research on a very big decision. Now, I think teams next year probably would feel a little more comfortable taking him. You can meet with him. He has a full year to show if he's remorseful. And I think also just the heat of the decision will feel less in a year than it will. Like, imagine if a team would have drafted him with a first-round pick in 2 weeks. I think it would have been a decision that was criticized quite a bit. I think in a year, there'll be a little less heat about
if I were him, I would have. Is the XFL over with?
I don't even know.
There's the the
USFL?
UFL. Yeah, that's still around, I think.
Go jump in that league.
Play in the Canada League.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Or go to Temple.
Or you say to yourself, there's too much at stake in the future. You could just make sure you stay in shape.
Yeah, sit back,
make sure
don't
you're
get hit.
throwing the ball.
Do a
Yeah,
skills
stay
camp
in.
all the
you can
time.
do all that type
Do a
of stuff.
podcast.
That's probably what he will do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a DraftKings endorsement for a year.
So
I would not do that.
I would stay away
I
from
would not
sports
endorse
betting.
it.
Run a
endorsements.
gambling blog.
Yeah, I would stop
You get
doing
into
that.
a content game.
So DeVonta got married. AJ was there.
And Jalen.
Any thoughts on
Getting the
that?
band back together.
Yeah, I'll be honest. My biggest thought was it makes me hate the AJ trade even more, and it just makes me feel like the whole thing was overblown. Like, I know he wanted out, but man, you see all three of them in the same room together.
It was overblown.
All this idea that, like, he's a bad teammate, he's a loser, all he cares is about his stats. Like, DeVonta had him in his wedding party, so obviously DeVonta felt he was a pretty good teammate. Jalen and him were in the same room. Like, they could have survived in 2026, and I think we exaggerate, not like we in this room, but I think in general it got
the Eagles overreacted.
Well, I think the Eagles.
Well, that's who traded him.
No, I know, but AJ asked out. I think if cooler heads could have.
I don't know if you realized that part.
No, I did, yeah, but I think cooler heads could have prevailed, and they could have been a better team in 2026 if they could have made this thing work. So watching AJ there, that was my thought.
Let me rephrase what you said there about AJ asking out. AJ demanded out.
Yep.
Demanded out during the season, at the trade deadline, after the season. He never changed his mind about wanting to stay the entire offseason. He wanted out. Well, you can't change that unless you change him and his perspective. So it's great that you have nostalgia and think that it was overblown. It'd be even greater if he felt that way.
No,
if he wanted to be here. All this, everybody loves him in the building. He's a great teammate. He still didn't want to be here.
No, I agree with that.
So what was big enough and meaningful enough to him that he didn't want to be here regardless of all the love that he gets from the city, all the love that he has from his teammates, the love that the organization has shown for him, he still wanted out. He has to look in the mirror and reconcile himself with, and here's the craziest part. He's good with it.
No, he seems very happy.
Yeah, you're sitting here talking about you got remorse and wish it stayed. Meanwhile, he's like, bro, I'm in the best position I ever been in my life.
But I think the Eagles are worse without him. But
he wanted out. No, they would have been worse with him.
But I just wonder if they would have called his bluff, like said, we're not trading you. Make him come to training camp. If he would have tanked a full year, and I don't think he would have, and I think they're a better team with him on the roster. So when you see that he's close with DeVonta, when you see that he can be in the same room as Jalen, when you see that...
Hold on. In the same room. Do you
in the
know?
Same, what do you think they were going to do? But a fist fight or something in there?
I don't know. But it seems amicable to me.
They were in the same room all the time last year.
Agreed.
But being
and things were mostly fine.
No, they weren't.
Not between them, but for the team. And
it wasn't for the team.
It was a Super Bowl hangover, I think, that impacted the offense. In 24, they didn't get along and they won the Super Bowl.
But here's part of the hangover, though, is all of the adulation and everything they soaked up. You know who was full of himself off of that Super Bowl hangover? AJ. AJ, I got my ring. I'm good. Remember this? Thanks for the ring. This ain't good enough for me. Mm-hmm. Those are his words.
I know. I know, but they have made it work.
So that impacted the locker room, whether those players realize it or not. Here's the great thing about being an advanced age as we are, or I am at 53, right? They're 22, 23, 24. They don't know what they don't know. Mm-hmm. And why things happen the way they do in that type of environment and what's impacting them. But 10 years later, you know what they're going to say? Man, wish I had said something. We could have said we could have did this. But you know what they did? It was a lot of he's cool, everything's good, and nothing's wrong, this and that and the other. And guess what didn't get better? AJ's attitude about being an Eagle. It didn't get better.
No, I agree.
They placated. They praised him.
Maybe
they forced the football to him. Nothing changed his perspective about being here.
Maybe how I should phrase is, it makes me wish that they could have handled it differently. It makes me wish it would have worked out.
It makes you wish that AJ realized what he had here.
Agreed. Yes.
No, don't say they. AJ.
But Jalen, like I think they both hold some blame in this.
Man,
but
why? What did Jalen do?
Well, I don't know the intricacies of why they got upset at each other.
Right, we just know
Right.
No, AJ's upset.
AJ's upset because of Jalen.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean Jalen did anything that justifies AJ being upset at him.
To what you said, like, I wish they could have worked it out, the both of them, because you look at the three of them, and it led for the best stretch in franchise history.
Yeah.
And they were mostly able to handle the AJ thing. Like, there were certainly moments it was...
But AJ wasn't able to handle it.
I know, but what I'm saying is I wish that they could have worked it out. I agree with you that AJ wanted
out. Well, that's different. Okay. But see, I wish that they could have worked it out, but they couldn't. It would have been nice if they could, but they couldn't.
I just think they could have. I think if they brought him back, it would have all evened out.
What's he going to tank? Against his wishes, they should have just brought him back.
What are you going to do, tank?
Players went out all the time. Yeah, I don't think he's going to tank his career for a year. I think if they brought AJ back with a good offensive line, they would have been a great team again.
You think he gave you maximum effort last year?
No, I think he had a bad year. I agree.
And you think that would have been better this year?
I think
after denying his trade request.
I think with the realization that he was not leaving, it would have been better this year.
No, he would have made it worse until he forced them to trade him.
But he would have tried all offseason, and it wouldn't have happened. He would have tried last season, and it wouldn't have happened. I think if you would have held on to him, he would have eventually accepted what his fate was.
He didn't try this all season because there was a wink in place.
Well, I'm saying he got his way out.
There was an understanding, so he didn't have to act like a baby all season this off season. He just had to wait till June 1st.
Right.
Keep his mouth shut. Don't say anything. Be quiet. You're going to get what you want. But now imagine if it was February and they're telling him, sorry, buddy, you ain't going nowhere. You're an Eagle. You're an Eagle. You're not going anywhere. You're going to be here. Do you think he's quiet then?
No, I think there would have been some ugliness for sure. But I think once he got to camp and the realization was your career is like somewhat on the line here, your next paycheck is on the line here, he would have dealt with it.
How do you think your franchise quarterback would have liked the fact that the guy who has been publicly questioning his play for 3 years and personally asked to be out of there, who has to learn a new offense with a new offensive coordinator, would have liked the fact that the guy who can't stand him so much that he requested a trade was coming back against his wishes?
I think that he would have not liked that, but I also think on Sundays he would have a better chance of succeeding. And ultimately, that's what I think would be better for him.
Hasn't looked that way.
It hasn't.
Guys been upset since 2023.
Right, and
everybody, we talking about people spiking apology. I don't know, when are we doing the Jack Fritz apology show?
Many are saying and asking for it.
For the
Yes, for AJ calling up and being upset, knowing that he really was unhappy, right?
Right.
So it started then. They gave him a new contract to pacify him. He was good. Going through a Super Bowl year, he still ain't happy. After the Super Bowl, still not happy. So where did he get better and production get better? One could say the offense got worse each year, and particularly the passing game got worse each year. And it was predicated on his unhappiness, not getting the ball enough, the offense, structure, scheme, whatever you want to believe. But he was the vocal one about the play in the passing game. It didn't get better.
So I think at 24, obviously the running game overtook the offense, and that's part of it. Last year, and I could be wrong about this, to me last year was all about the Super Bowl hangover. The offensive line was bad. There was a staleness that's always been around this franchise after they go to the Super Bowl. So when I look at next year, I think they could be better simply because of that, and they would be better with AJ. So to your point about he was unhappy, if he was unhappy in 23, 24, 25, they were successful for the most, they were successful for sure in 24.
Except for 1 year.
Yeah, well, in 25, I mean, they should have won 12 games. So they didn't have like a terrible year.
They lost the first playoff game, and he had a big part to do with that.
He had drops, absolutely, right? Players didn't play well in that game. The defense gave up a touchdown drive. But the defense didn't play well either. The defense didn't play well either.
He didn't play well.
Agreed, he did not. DeVonta had a drop. The defense had struggles. Those things did happen. Other players did struggle. They weren't able to run the ball.
I understand that, but the other players weren't the ones complaining all year about the offense, about getting balls thrown to them. And then all of a sudden, when you get the ball thrown to you, you got nothing to say. Team is 8-1, 8-2. You're still complaining in first place. Team loses 3 in a row. Your catches go up. We don't hear a peep out of you. You don't say a word. Your numbers went up. Mm-hmm. He was getting his. So what I'm saying is, Eliot, just because they did a great job of putting a face on this thing and bearing and grinning and getting through it. That's why I give Nick Sirianni the credit I give him as a head coach.
I agree with that.
And the way he held that locker room together. Because I don't care what they say publicly, that was a cloud hanging over them. That was a cloud hanging over them. They dealt with it as best they could, and they got a Super Bowl out of it. Thank God for that we got that out of it. Mm-hmm. But they clearly said enough is enough. We can't do this another year.
I just don't think next year it would have been as bad. But I could be wrong. But that's my read on it.
But it only got worse.
I was just saying,
but the season got worse in general.
No. I'm saying his behavior regarding this.
Because the offense struggled last year.
But it got worse from 23 to 24. It got worse from 24 to 25.
Yeah.
Right? It only got worse.
Right, but I think that last year, had they had a rebound year this year, he would have been happy. Like, ultimately, if the team plays well, he was going to be happy.
Well,
yes.
No. You're putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
Right? He plays well and the team is happy, meaning they're winning. Because when they're winning and he's not getting his, he's not happy.
But also that's because the passing offense is struggling.
You got a lot of excuses, man.
Well, I don't think it's an excuse. I just think it's what happened. The passing offense has not been great the last 2 years. He's been frustrated with that.
I know that's what
but
happened.
They've still won a lot of games.
That's an explanation for why the results were what they were in the numbers. That's not an explanation for AJ's participation and contribution to this. That's on him.
How he handled it was not good.